Hello there. It's Blick ASMR. How we doing today? How's it going? So, today's video is going to be whispered, kind of rambly, but it is kind of just one topic. It's not anything important, really. Well, it is, but it's nothing particularly pertaining to the channel. It is basically just like a little bit of a story. Just talking about how I got into ASMR, because I feel like I haven't really fully covered this subject and what ASMR actually kind of means to me, which is odd because I've almost been doing this a year, you know. But yeah, I just thought that would be really nice to kind of open up about that, talk about it, kind of the reasons that I'm doing this in the first place, in a way, because of what ASMR represents me. Because I've realized, you know, through reading your guys' comments, and basically through reading the comments on a lot of other ASMR channels that I personally watch, I feel like every ASMR artist also watches like 20 different channels at least every night. Normally, I know what the view count, what the amount of time is, so usually I will watch at least half everybody's video if it comes out, which is nice if you're somebody that likes to like pop between, or just likes the little rambly bits at the beginning when people are, you know, saying hi, how are you doing. That is a really good plan. It's 30 seconds, by the way, heads up. But yeah, and you have to have volume on. You have to have the volume at least above 50%. Anyway, I learned that from BTS stans, which bless them. Anyway, but yeah, I just wanted to kind of talk about this subject because it's something rather important to me. Of course, it's the entire reason I'm here talking to you right now, and just kind of, in a way, shout out somebody as well. They don't really need a shout out from me because they're a much larger channel, but I guess more so this is an appreciation, right? So, for a little bit of backstory, I had actually mentioned this, but the first time I ever got ASMR was when I was getting like haircuts and, I'm sorry, kind of gross, lice checks when I was a kid. I mean, I think it's just more so people preening you, right? In a way, there's something in our monkey brain. There's something going on up there that basically says this is so nice just to be kind of pampered by somebody else, and it's relaxing and soothing and wonderful. So I remember getting the feeling a lot, especially in like the base of my scalp here, when people kind of like go through my hair anytime I got it cut, anytime anyone was like just styling it, not brushing though, because I had a lot of knots in my hair as a kid. My hair is dry naturally. It's really dry, so I would get knots like crazy because I have like my hair like it's kind of coarse. I don't know, guys, I literally don't. I'm white. I don't know what else though. There's something else happening there. There's something else brewing. I got enough info from my dad's side though, where I'm like, oh, apparently I'm Norwegian. Found that out. Shout out to Norway. I just found that out recently. I was like, oh, I'm just like extreme white, right? I'm like white bread. I'm Wonder Bread white. Well, I don't know. Apparently my hair texture is weird, but we're not talking about my hair. Anyway, we were talking about me getting haircuts. As long as somebody was not running a brush through my hair as a kid, because it was very, very knotty and very, very coarse and very, very dry. Aside from that, if they were like styling it, you know, getting right up on my scalp, that was the best thing in the world. That was so nice when I was a kid. And I will say, definitely, it just makes you feel very cared for, right? And that is a feeling in ASMR that I get from a lot of channels, aside from the fact that it already shows a lot that people are getting online and posting this for the enjoyment of other people in a way that's already showing care for you, if that makes sense. The effort that was put into the video already shows a lot of care. The other part is it's this entire encompassing feeling of almost like an immersion in a way of somebody being there and basically caring for you with the attention being on you. So that's why I especially think like the follow my finger videos, personal attention, I think that's probably why those are so incredibly comforting. And I actually remember there was a study done, I can't remember who it was. I can probably post it in the description box, but there was a study done basically monitoring what brain activity synchronicity happens during ASMR, and the most tingly experiences that they could find most stimulating were actually personal attention, which I guess further illustrates why, if you get a haircut or anything, why that would be comforting, because somebody else is caring for you. But yeah, I think we all just like attention too, right? Like, let's be real, let's be honest here. But yeah, I just kind of want to talk about when I first got into what I actually realized was ASMR. So I had been working for years. I was the main bread earner for years. I actually still was during this story. But I had been working like crazy, 70 hours a week at a previous job where I was a manager, and my spouse and I decided to move. So we completely moved out of the area that we were at and moved into a completely new apartment. And during that time, I had put in for quite a few jobs, and I do not like moving without having a job, but we kind of had to do it that way just because the moving process was basically moving away from said job. It was terrible. And we just sat there and said, what can we prove that we can afford on what we have right now, and what can we definitely match when we get a new job? Because we quit after we moved into the new apartment. Which I don't really recommend, but like, is there any correct way to do that? I don't know, because if you need to get rid of both the old apartment and the old job, which order do you do it in? But yeah, so we moved, and it took me about 2 months after we got there, which we had savings, thankfully, to get a new job. And during that time, I was having pretty much daily panic attacks, which really did get in the way of me even, like, I was applying for jobs like crazy. And this is something my father had always said: you have a new job when you quit a job, and that is finding a new one. So I made finding a new job and applying for things a new job for me. So I was applying like crazy. I would call in places that didn't even have things posted and be like, do you have anything available? This is my background. Can I drop off a resume? I was like I've always been very aggressive about getting employment, to be quite honest. But it's more so because if somebody does not even know that you're an option, how would you ever be considered? You know what I mean? So yeah, I've never been bashful about that, to be quite honest, just because, again, there's 7 billion people on the planet. I want the job. So yeah, you kind of have to, fortune favors the bold, basically. So I was applying like crazy, but I was having panic attacks all the time, and it got to the point where I couldn't even go in front of the computer without having one to even apply for anything, because I kept getting no's like crazy. And I mean, this is the thing. People can say, well, you just should move on to the next one, and I get that, but after a certain amount of time, when you get so many rejections, it does definitely chip away at your confidence, right? I mean, nobody's impervious to that. You can say that you are, but you might be lying. It just might not be something that you're realizing, possibly too, but being rejected, even if you take it well, does at least hurt a little bit, and you need to honor that. But yeah, I just started having panic attacks every time I got in front of the computer, and during that time is when I found ASMR Magic's channel. Well, actually, caveat, it wasn't ASMR Magic first, but it was actually, they're no longer a channel, but Super Deluxe, which is now tatered after Turner Networks took over and basically got rid of everybody on there. R.I.P. Tabasco Sweet, even though you're still around. I guess just that particular portion of the show. There was so much pure talent on Super Deluxe, but one thing they did was they had an entire ASMR section, and a lot of it was like the ice cream roll videos that you would see, or they would like make cakes, or somebody would have like paint on their hands. They had an entire ASMR series on Super Deluxe, and I was like, wait a minute, I actually like this. And then they had, it was the glue peeling video off of the head from ASMR Magic, and this is still one of more popular videos. It popped up in the recommend, and I was like, that's an actual ASMR video, because I'd kind of known about ASMR and I never got into it before that point. after watching the Super Deluxe, because I watched them on a regular basis, I was like, what is this ice cream roll episode? What's going on? They did a donut making one too, where they like fried everything and had like little crispy sounds. But I sat there and I was like, that's actually a smart channel. That's actually a smart video. Do I actually like this? The answer was yes. So I watched the video and I remember this entire feeling of peace and calm just coming over me, and I watched her consistently every single day for like 2 months, even after I got the job. But I remember it was a week before I got the job, and I started working at a health food store in the front end, which is basically, I was an assistant manager in the front end, basically, where you would be doing like accounting, schedule, stuff like that, which is stuff I'm pretty good at, I would say. Anything where there's a schedule, anything utilitarian, I'm good at. And my spouse and I know this. They're aesthetics, I'm utilitarian, which works really well. But yeah, I remember it was a week before I even got the job. I was listening to her during the day. I was listening to her at night. I was listening to her videos constantly. And it was not only entertainment, it just gave me this entire sense of calm. And where we were living, we were right backed up to a woods. I remember just looking out the woods. We had deers coming through too. And feeling such a sense of peace and calm, like things were going to be okay. And they turned out okay, literally after a week of that. But she genuinely helped me stop having panic attacks to the point where I was even brave enough to go to the job interview, because it was, if you guys know what open interviews are, it was probably 50 plus other people gunning for the same position, and I genuinely think me being calm from the videos is probably what helped me get the job. And I ended up getting promoted twice when I got there too, so I was like, I was meant for this one, this is great. But yeah, I remember just listening to her videos and just a sense of peace and calm going over me, and feeling like things were going to work out, even if they seemed very dire at that moment. And being able to just kind of concentrate in on the sounds, and instead of just getting up in my head, just focusing on the here and now in a way, like what you're listening to, was very good, because I tend to get up in my head a lot about what's going to happen, basically. I don't like worry, but I always have to have like a strategic plan of attack with things, and especially like quarantine, I wasn't able to do that. So I've had a lot of personality changes during quarantine, because before it was just very strict, I have to get this done, yes, that's it, which had worked for years. But getting the fibromyalgia diagnosis, getting the chronic fatigue syndrome diagnosis, basically finding out I probably have PTSD. We're still not completely sure on that, but we'll say it this way, I've not got the full diagnosis, but it's heavily leaning to it. Of realizing all of this during quarantine, and not really being able to work a square job anymore, even though I am quote-unquote good at it, is definitely, it's been a very big sea of change. And I think that in a way, even having this channel is doing the same exact thing that ASMR Magic did for me, which is just focusing in on something that is truly the here and now. Me making this video, me even being right here talking to you right now, instead of focusing on what ifs or not having a plan, and basically focusing on so many negative things. So just, I can't do this anymore, I can't do this anymore. I'm more so looking at what I can do, and I'm looking at what's actually happening in front of me, and I'm looking at the future, but it's more so the future in terms of what I want to do directly after this, instead of all the way down the road. So it's made me much more of it's chilled me out, basically, I will say quarantine has. And I'm technically disabled, it's a gray area. Actually, this would be a good topic to cover. I might cover it more in detail, but fibromyalgia is a gray area, same as CFS. CFS is actually more than likely caused by a viral infection, which literally, that's long haulers with COVID actually are developing CFS as well. And it could be something like HHV6. I'm not going to cover all of this. This is just like the spark notes. But yeah, they tell you to just go work out and just go through the pain with CFS. And it can take up to 2 months months to recover from overexerting yourself with CFS, because more than likely what's happening, this was a study published in the UK back in 2016 and most recently updated this year. More than likely what's actually happening with CFS is in the actual, in your cells, the ATP is not going to regular cell functions, but rather fighting off basically an immune response instead of actual cell functions overall, which is why I am tired all the time, and also why I have not ever had the flu. I'm realizing a lot of stuff, guys. I thought the CFS was like the baseline, like my lowest denominator on what I got diagnosed with, and no. But essentially, there's a very good chance I cannot ever work a square job ever again, and I have to become okay with that. You know what I mean? Being somebody that is very, focused on moving forward and being very, how would we even put that? Being very rigid with their success, seeing it more in a, I'm going to go to work every day and I'm going to get a promotion and I'm going to basically work through everything, get high marks. That can't really be my life anymore, and that's probably a good thing. Focusing more on actually doing things that are quality, but are also coming from the heart and being genuine, instead of just basically saying, my feelings are to the side, all I'm focusing on is numbers and things that I can quantify. That is probably very good for me, to be quite honest, because the first 25 years of my life was, quantifying. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to say that ASMR made me appreciate the here and now, and aesthetics as well, beautiful aesthetics as well, and focus more on basically the nurturing nature within myself, but also feeling the nurture and feeling a little bit more vulnerable. It's been great in that regard, you know what I mean? But yeah, and it's also been a creative playground as well. I mean, if you guys didn't even notice it in one of my last videos when I had the Kermit heads, I got to put, a small little snippet of Kermit singing. So that was great. I just put that in the video because I wanted to. And I can do that. It's great. It's a playground. It's open, which is nice. Not having constraints is nice, but being spoiled for choice is also kind of, in a way, like, oh, what do I do? Whatever I want to, I guess. Anyway, but yeah, I hope that you all enjoyed this video. I just again want to say, ASMR Magic, her videos have been extremely wonderful, extremely nurturing, and they are just like, they're next level creative, and she is just so gentle and so wonderful and very interesting. She's a very interesting person, and everything that she chooses is very interesting. So this is just kind of an appreciation of her as an ASMR artist, and basically saying she helped me through some really bad situations. Because for me, uncertainty has always been like the biggest thorn in my side. I don't like it. I don't like things that are uncertain. And she, in a way, helped me just pull myself up and out of that. And I'm always going to be appreciative of that, you know what I mean? But yeah, I hope that you all enjoyed this video. I hope that you all enjoyed this little peek into the behind the scenes, my inner workings of my mind, as if I don't, tell you guys stuff all the time. But yeah, I just wanted to have this little talk with you and let you know what's going on in that regard, why I got into ASMR. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you would like to see in the next video. Definitely give me recommendations you guys want. I always enjoy them. And I hope that you are doing so absolutely well out there, and you stay well and you stay safe. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic, wonderful, beautiful day, night, or whenever you're watching this video. I'm very perky today, can you tell? And I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.